Richard Arthur Handschumacher. And my rank when I was discharged was captain of the infantry. There you go. Up the beach, and I can recall walking up the hill by one of the main forts, and it's shown on television many times, and reaching the top and starting to walk across the field, and we were attacked by planes, and we had also been attacked by artillery. And one shell came in, and another guy and I both went for the same rock to hide in there. And when the plane was gone, the gunfire was over, I got up, and he never got up. And I shook him and said, "Come on," and he didn't move. And then I looked at him, I couldn't see any blood, except I saw a little mark on the back of his ear, where it looked like there was blood. And that's probably what killed him.
Wow.
That was a shock that was the first person I saw killed in the war.
After landing in France, Mr. H began his march towards Paris. Along the way, one of his orders as a platoon leader was to care for the German POWs.
We had been bombed by planes, and we had some artillery fire, but it wasn't anything like close combat. And my job was to take these men and get them to a position that they would be joining a regular unit. But in the meantime, we had various tasks to do, and those tasks were taking care of enemies that were surrendered, and ones that POWs.
Okay.
And that was quite an experience, because when the men that I was guiding called out my name, Handschumacher, all the Germans turned around and thought, geez, he's fighting on the wrong side.
Mr. H entered Paris just after it was liberated from German control on August 25th. While in Paris, he began running reconnaissance trips and received help from an unlikely source named Claudia LeBlum.
Her father was a general, I ultimately found out. I didn't know it at the time. And she wanted to take some activity, and her thought was that when American soldiers were coming in, she was going to do anything she could to help them if they had questions about the area. And she was just standing on a street corner, and the parade was off behind me, and I was going into an area that hadn't been explored before. And so she was giving me some clues.
From Paris, Mr. H traveled to the southwest corner of Germany, a place called the Hurtgen Forest. This became the site of the longest battle on German soil during World War II. This serious Allied defeat cost the United States 33,000 soldiers. The German victory would set the stage for the Battle of the Bulge. Mr. H tells us the story of the night before the Bulge began.
The night of December 15th, I had gone up and decided that I'd take my reconnaissance, and that night was an unusual night because it had clouds that were hidden by the moon, and then the moon would shine out fast, and then the clouds would cover it again. And in doing that, I was able to get quite close to the area where I knew the Germans would be. The Germans turned searchlights on the low-hanging clouds, and I found German patrols passing me, going into the area that we were holding. And they were doing their reconnaissance, just like I was doing my reconnaissance. And it was very upsetting to see all this activity. And I felt that I had to get back and quickly let the regiment know that things were happening. On the way leading these tanks down, I came to a bend in the road, and all of a sudden, bang, and I was blown out of the Jeep. And I had no idea what had happened. But the Jeep driver thought I was dead and threw me in the back of the Jeep, and was going to take me to an aid station. And as we were going towards the aid station, which was down in a place called Uren, where our regimental headquarters was, I came to. And I had felt myself, and I had some blood, but I didn't feel that bad. And I knew I had the responsibility to make sure these guys got in the position they should be in. And so I said, we can't stop here for an aid station. We got to lead these fellows along. All of a sudden, the tanks and infantry surrounding the tanks came at us. And the guy that was, I went to make sure they got in the right position, so I went up on top of the tank destroyer, first tank destroyer, and I was giving him instructions to what to do. And when that happened, I said, Chief, take your .50 caliber machine gun, get the infantry, and you can hit a spot that somebody's poking their head out of the tank, why, get that. And that's what he had started to do it, but he was all nervous, and he had started to go in a direction was where I knew we had some of our platoons. Yeah. And so I said, you know, you've got to concentrate on this. And I grabbed the .50 caliber machine gun, and I showed him what he had to do.
A few days into the battle, Mr. H was leading a patrol of men when he realized they were surrounded by German patrols. In order to avoid capture, Mr. H told them that they needed to go their separate ways.
And so we separated, and we said we were going to meet back into the German lines. And so we went into Germany when they were coming the other way. And we looked like somebody coming back from some activity. And there were times that we marched through checkpoints at the rear end of a line of German troops. And we watched their steps and wow.
Knowing he was in danger behind enemy lines, Mr. H, along with a couple of soldiers whom he had just come across, found an old barn on a German farm and made it their home for the night. As the men crammed into the hayloft, they soon realized they were not alone.
Early in the evening, people would be up and looking around, and that's all they do. And they never bothered coming up because it was an open barn. And so after they got pretty drunk down below, I said to them, we got to get out of here. I got the sergeant to go down and go slowly down the stairs and walk out because they had been drinking and laying all over the floor, and they were really boozed up. I think there were 5 of us. And the other guys went next, and I pulled up in the rear. And as I went down those steps, I saw a big can on the table. And I said, you know, we're going to be hungry, and that looks like it's something to eat. And so I stepped over German, grabbed the can, and snuck out. And they were so drunk, I didn't worry a bit. Because they were singing Silent Night and in German. And I could recognize some of the tunes. I almost felt like singing them myself.
Yeah.
But they were out. They were really out.
The 5 cherry thieves were separated in a firefight shortly after their narrow escape from the barn. It took Mr. H a week to make it back to his regiment. Though he was reunited with his regiment, Mr. H still had a job to do. One of them was to transport 2,000 Russian soldiers back to Russia. It was a task that in some cases called for unorthodox tactics.
Captured Colmar. One of our regiments captured it, and we were left to fight in the woods up on top. And one of the experiences I'll never forget is I had done a little skiing, and one of the areas that we wanted to find out is there was a batch, sort of a group of trees, sort of a woods, across an open field, and I wanted to know was there enemy in there or not. And I said, it was night, and I said, I'll go out there. Well, there had been cows grazing in that area, and they hit on a mine and were blown to bits. I found a pair of skis, and I say, if I go skiing, I should be able to ski across the top of that and not set off a charge, because the charge, they don't have it too easy. But we picked what we saw as fewer cows, places that were, and that's where I went.